And welcome back, everybody. We are back with more analysis about the President's State of the Union speech here with the best political team on television. We have a new member of the best political team on television, Eric Erickson, a very influential voice among the social networks, redstate.com, and a conservative voice, I should add. Give me your take on your general reaction on the President's speech.
You know, I don't like State of the Union speeches to begin with. I think they're always long, that they're unveilings of policy initiatives, half of which never, ever come to fruition, whether it's a Republican or Democrat. I'm struck, though, by, in my view, the speech seemed almost at odds with the free market. For example, he talked about how the stimulus plan created jobs, but all the jobs he listed were jobs that were either in government or dependent on government. He talked about a government takeover of the student loan industry, where after 20 years of paying student loans, you won't have to pay anymore, even if you owe, and then suggested that colleges need to cut their costs. Well, there's a disconnect there. How do colleges have an incentive to cut their costs if students, after 20 years, regardless of how much they owe, are going to be forgiven? There seem to be disconnects like that throughout the speech.
Actually, it's not true.
Well, let me let Roland respond. Go ahead.
It's not true. I mean, he specifically talked to the small business in Phoenix that would triple its workforce because of the Recovery Act.
But that was that small business.
No, but you just said that was a government job, but that wasn't that. He said the window manufacturer in Philadelphia, who said he used to be skeptical about the Recovery Act until they had to add 2 more work shifts just because of the business it created. That's not a government job. So I understand your point, but when he specifically spoke about these particular jobs, they're not government jobs. Those were private sector jobs he was talking about.
But are those jobs dependent on government, which is my concern? The paragraph where he went through, where he listed first responders, policemen, teachers, and then talked about green economy jobs, which is a sector of the economy that wouldn't exist but for government intervention.
Most of the Wall Street banks wouldn't exist because of government intervention.
All right, let me let Paul Gala jump in a little bit.
I think the president, if his goal was to hit the reset button, right, I think he succeeded. The Washington and the whole government has been consumed with health care, right? As Gloria Borger points out, health care came up 3,300 words into a 7,100 word speech. By my count, it was the 11th issue he mentioned, after obviously jobs in the economy, the most important thing, but even after free trade and community colleges. Okay, I'm slow, I'm a little dense. I didn't go to Harvard Law School, but I'm getting a sense he's trying to downplay health care here. Just me. But I think that voters are really going to like the fact that he is focusing on jobs and the economy. I mean, if you watch a speech, you don't come away with the sense that this man is committed to creating jobs and fixing the economy, then, you know, you were asleep.
Mary?
If you think that was a reset, just like try to imagine you're an independent voter and you're at the water cooler tomorrow. The first thing you're going to say was, wow, Michelle Obama looked really great. If you're a little bit more sophisticated or junky, you're going to say, what a fresh young voice from Virginia. There wasn't one takeaway. There was no framework. It was a frog march of straw men, from pundits to his predecessor to partisans. It didn't reset anything. He just gave another long speech that was in no framework other than being somewhat defensive about, I never said this was going to be easy. It's not. It does not sound presidential to me. It didn't feel presidential. I wanted to have an open mind. I wanted to think like an independent person about this. There was no fundamental anything other than the same old stuff he's been saying for a year.
Do you share your wife's frustration?
No, I really don't. Honestly, I don't. I think the guy is a remarkable speaker. I didn't have high hopes for the speech. I thought it was a much better speech than I anticipated. And what I thought he did was very necessary. He laid the context of the task that he inherited. And he did a very, very good job. You know, he just didn't fall out of the sky to be president. He came in and he was faced with almost a near economic calamity. He was faced with 3 different wars. And he put that in context. Look, I think he suffered a significant defeat in Massachusetts. I don't make any bones about that. Is this going to change the world overnight? No. But I think this is, if I excuse me for a football metaphor, but I have my Saints tie on and my Saints button. He picked up a first down tonight. That's better. That's what we needed.
Okay, we're going to get a lot more from the panel coming up. And also, John King is going to tell us what Twitter is saying about the president's speech. We have an interesting new way over at the wall to assess kind of the feedback that he's getting from the social networks. So we'll be back right after this. A whole lot more ahead.
Song by Paul Beckman, Palu, song created January 27th, 2010. using the guitar chords D7 and C7. The song is going to be called Many Different Points of View. Well, I detect many different points of view from many people. No one's gonna have the same exact point of view all the time. I detect some different points of view, don't you? No one's gonna have the exact one the whole time. Well, she thought one thing, he thought another. What would you think if I asked you? What would you say? Would it be different than what he said? Or different from what she said too? Ah!